Is it really time to sound the alarm after 2 games? We discuss just that and what we need to see in today's rematch against the Red Wings. You're listening to the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
You're Locked On Maple Leafs, your daily podcast on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome into the Locked On Leafs podcast, a daily Maple Leaf-centric podcast hosted by myself, Mike DiStefano, and my co-host, Dave Morassutti. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. The Maple Leafs back in action tonight, so if you like for them to get revenge at home against Red Wings, put down a $5 wager. If they win, you'll get $300 in bonus bets. What's happening, Dave? You like the likelihood of that? Because what we saw over the weekend was not great. They need to play a heck of a lot better today if they want to come out victorious.
Yeah, I know. It was it started off good. Looked not great, but they had a 2-0 lead despite, the Red Wings really pushing the play in the first period. And then it
fell apart.
Crumbled.
Like, the second period was outrageous. I think it was a 15-9 with the shots in the second period, but it felt like 20-2. Like, the second period was so lopsided. Like, the Leafs were kind of lucky that they were still somewhat in the game after that. Like, Stolarz was standing on his head there throughout the middle frame. And then eventually they got going. Couple empty netters, really kind of made it look worse, I suppose. The score were, although I would say it looked like a 6-3 game. I would say, actually, it did look like a 6-3 game. Anthony Stolars made it closer than it should have been, I suppose. But you look at the stats, Toronto outshot 35-23. The chances, the scoring chance differential in that game, Dave. Detroit outchanced Toronto 39-21. The Leafs gave up 39 scoring chances to the Detroit Red Wings. Like, this is a team that preaches needing to be responsible defensively. Through 2 games, they've been one of the worst defensive teams in the NHL. Like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, and it's where they're being beat. It's they're being beat in front of their own goal, which was an area that they always preached to be a lot better. Especially the last few years, they've gone better at defending in front of the net. That was thrown out the window in this game because Detroit was just all over them. In the right in the slot, the high danger chances, and that's been killer for the Leafs this year. They look slow. They're not getting to pucks quick enough, so they're staying in the zone longer than they need to, especially in this game. Like, the Red Wings were just passing it, and Patrick Kane. How does Patrick Kane get left open on the side of the goal? I had to remind myself it was 5-on-5 and it wasn't a power play in that situation. But they treated it as if it was like they were shorthanded.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, it's completely sloppy. There's been missed assignments all over the place for the first couple of games. Like, I'm looking on Natural Stat Trick, digging into the underlying metrics. They're giving up the second most amount of scoring chances per 60 minutes of play. The Jets are giving up 38.5, the Leafs 37 scoring chances per 60. That's 31st in the NHL. That's worse than the Sharks. That's worse than the Flyers. Like, that's worse than Chicago, worse than Pittsburgh. Like, the Leafs have not played well defensively at all. And it's as a unit. Like, we're not just talking about the blue line. Like, this is as a unit. Like, Nick Waugh, a couple of times caught puck watching and, it bite him. Has been on the ice for a couple of goals. In terms of high danger chances, again, they rank 5th worst in the NHL. So it's 27, 28th in the NHL, giving up 14.5 high danger chances per game. Like, this was a team last year that was, up near, not the top, but, we're in the top half of the league when it came to that. Like, the underlying metrics clearly weren't going to be as rosy under Craig Berube that they were under Sheldon Keefe, because, well, Keefe's style is more so, metric heavy, right? It's a possession numbers game. Not necessarily the case here with Craig Berube. It's all about toughness and size and, playing heavy and playing direct. But it's not working through 2 games, man. Let me tell you. Like, I know they're 1-1. They got 2 points out of the win in Montreal, but it has not looked good at all. And really, when you factor it in, you look at the expected goal differential, for this season so far. The Maple Leafs, 42% expected goals at all strengths. And you look at that at 5-on-5, I'm pretty sure it's a hell of a lot worse when you look at it at 5-on-5. Just looking at the differential now, pulling it up. Yeah, 38%. That is 4th worst in the league. Worse than the Chicago Blackhawks expected goal differential at 5-on-5 at 38% of the goals expected in Toronto's, for Toronto. So something's got to change here, Dave. And what we saw on display Saturday wasn't great at all. Same thing on the opener on Wednesday. They got to come into tonight's game and play a heck of a lot better. That's for damn sure. Or it's gonna be a long season. Like, I get it. It's only 2 games. It's not time to sound the alarms. It is only 2 games, but through 2 games, Dave. Actually, let's play this game. Ready? Finish the sentence. Okay, finish the sentence. Fill in the blank. It's only 2 games, but
They look sloppy as heck.
I was gonna use another S word, but yeah, that's one. They look sloppy and slow. Yeah. That's the one thing that does concern me. The sloppiness, I think, is something that they can fix, right? You can coach that out. You can coach up guys. That's more preparation and, getting to, I don't know, just being ready and getting into kind of midseason form, the sloppiness, the mistakes. I think they'll figure out the mistakes and missed assignments. But being slow, being behind the play, that's what kind of worries me about the Maple Leafs. Again, it's only 2 games, but they've been super sloppy and they've looked very slow. And it looks like they're kind of behind the play. It was noticeable against Montreal. It was definitely noticeable against the Detroit Red Wings. And need I remind you guys, the Maple Leafs are one of the one of the older teams in the league now. Average age 28.83. That's the 6th oldest team in the NHL. You're talking about heaviness. They're the heaviest team in the NHL, tied with Boston, weighing in at 6'2", 207 pounds on average. That's the heaviest team in the league. So that's the one thing that would concern me is, are they too old and too slow? Has it completely flipped the other way from the Dubas era where it was speed and skill, where now it's a little old and slow and maybe not enough speed and skill?
Well, especially on the blue line, like they don't have guys who are real, other than like Morgan Riley, like he's their best skater. They don't have a lot of. They've. This is what happens when you decide to go with the size and physical play, but then you lose that mobility, right? You need like some for the Leafs. It worked last year.
Yeah, and Riley's been the best defense. Riley's been the best player through 2 games, right? And why is that?
I thought he could have been.
Up.
I thought he could have been better on a few of the goals against, but like he's at least trying to push the envelope offensively because he's one of the few guys that can get the puck out of the zone right now.
Well, that's what I mean. Like he's mobile. Like we're talking about mobility. Like he's been the guy who's looked like he's been, most mobile player, moving the puck up the ice with the breakouts, jumping up into the rush. I mean, the one goal he literally took 2 guys because he jumped up into the rush and took 2 guys, did a little blow by the goaltender, screened the goalie, and took both defensemen with him, and it left a wide open shot for Max Domi. I believe that was the Domi goal where that happened and just kind of squeaked through. But that was, Morgan Riley kind of set that up with him going hard to the net. But you need to see a lot more of that from a lot more guys. I mean, that's again, it's only 2 games, so it's not time to sound the alarm yet. I'm not ready to, throw in the towel on the season. I've seen tweets and I've gotten texts from people, the old school uncles who are already grouchy about the Maple Leafs this year. Same old Maple Leafs. And I got a tweet from one of our listeners who said, he wanted to talk about it on the pod. I'm just trying to find out what I did with the tweet here. I thought I I thought I'd sent it to you or pinned it or something, but let me see. Mike, I'm hearing the sentiment repeated from Leaf fans that they're very worried about the state of the team right now, looking old, slow, and discombobulated. Many are feeling that they're a pebble in Stolar's knee away from a lottery pick. Don't still believe? That was the question we were asked by Buck Murdoch, and it's only 2 games. I understand the concerns because we share the same concerns. They do look old. They do look slow. They have been completely discombobulated. You nailed it right on the head there, Buck. But it is only 2 games. I still think that they can figure it out. Nylander has been a bit of a passenger through the first couple games. He's too good to not be productive. Matthews, obviously, he didn't necessarily get on the score sheet, but I thought he had a much better bounce back game in game 2, ripped one right off the bar that easily could have went bar down if it was an inch lower, so things are starting to maybe look a little bit better for those guys, but all around, yeah, the play has to be better for the Maple Leafs, and they'll get another opportunity here today against Detroit, right? Little home and home series. So why don't we take a break, come back, we'll talk about what we want to see from the Maple Leafs. And it might be time to get Easton Cowan into the lineup. We'll talk about that and the 3 things we're thankful for. It's a Thanksgiving edition of the Locked On Leafs podcast. Thanks for sticking with us. More to come next here on the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
Today's edition of the Locked On Leafs podcast is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. It does all the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. That's the best thing about Monarch is you don't have to do anything complicated to see where you can try to find inefficient spending and also try to find ways to maximize investments, increase your saving rate, or easily review finances with your partner. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL.
Welcome back into the Locked On Maple Leafs podcast, brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. It's Mike DiStefano and Dave Morassutti with you, as we are each and every weekday, Monday through Friday. It's a special Thanksgiving edition. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their Thanksgiving, whether it was last night or it's tonight or this afternoon, a little turkey dinner. I know that I've got my family turkey dinner coming a little bit later on tonight. When does your family usually do it, Dave? Sunday or Monday?
We usually do Monday, just when everyone's available, and we do. We don't necessarily do turkey. We decide we prefer to just do like a stuffed chicken.
Oh, little stuffed chicken. We got the turkey and ham. We do them both. Little turkey, little
We used to
ham.
do turkey and ham all the time. It's just it got to the point where I'm eating turkey for like 3-4 days after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I don't mind that. Honestly, I prefer like a hot turkey sandwich on a terrible piece of munja cake bread. You just toss some turkey breast, you toss some gravy on there. I don't mind that at all for a couple of days after an open face sandwich, that is, after Thanksgiving. Not opposed to one of those. But it's Monday, and originally the Maple Leafs were supposed to play 4 o'clock. It's been changed. They've changed the date or the time of the Maple Leafs game, changed from 4 to 2 p.m. So it's a 2 p.m. puck drop to accommodate the Blue Jays playoff game tomorrow afternoon, or well, today or later on today in the afternoon, so that you'll be able to go to the game, watch the game, so everyone can watch the Maple Leafs in action, and then hopefully go home, and then you can watch the Blue Jays as well. So a nice little doubleheader, Jays or Leafs into Jays playoffs. So nice on the Maple Leafs to do that for their brothers in blue. Talking about the Birds down at the Dome.
Yeah, and when was the last time a Leafs game was postponed? or not postponed, but which had their time changed.
Yeah,
I
not
can only
doesn't.
recall one time. I
Was
can't
it
remember
COVID
what.
related?
I think it was like the next gen or something like that. It was just like it was. It's not something you see
Yeah.
very often. So it's going to be a busy day for all of us Toronto sports
Be
watchers.
busy. It's gonna be busy downtown too. Like you got
Yeah.
both teams playing at home. So you get the Leafs Wings game at Scotiabank, and then Jays Mariners down at the Dome. It's gonna be a busy Thanksgiving Monday down at in downtown Toronto. But the Maple Leafs looking to bounce back, as are the Blue Jays. Both teams looking to bounce back on Monday. Toronto lost 6-3 to Detroit over the weekend. Outshot 35-23, outchanced 39-21, outclassed. They looked slow, they looked old, and discombobulated was a good word that one of our listeners used when they tweeted out at us. What do you want to see in the second leg of a home and home against Detroit later on tonight, Dave?
Win more puck battles.
Mm.
You know, cut off the cycles. Try to be, help Stolars. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you just feel bad because he was playing so well. He was making some unbelievable saves. Give them every chance to try to keep themselves in a good spot, and they just could never get their footing under them. And
Yeah.
that's the part that kills me is just you see how good of a game he's having, and then bang. Like the goals he allowed too were like top-notch goals that they were scoring because guys are being left open on the side, or they were getting these one-timer opportunities. Like, make it easier for your goalie. They have not done that at all.
No, they haven't. One of I did my best bets each and every game, and my best bet so far, I think, is going to be Stolarz over on the saves because it was like 23.5 or something like that, and I'm like, the Leafs have been leaving them a little high and dry. So there's a fun little best bet for you on FanDuel. Again, $5 down, it wins. You can win $300 in bonus bets if it's your first bet. Yeah, like I obviously want to see that, but you know what else I want to see? I want to see Easton Cowan in the lineup tonight. It's time. The fact that I was shocked that he wasn't put in the lineup on Saturday. I think we all expected him to be in there considering they called him up, but then to sit him back-to-back games to start the year. Now, after two terrible showings, I mean, there's no excuse not to put him in the lineup tonight. We need to see Easton Cowan in this lineup tonight. It would make absolutely no sense if he sat for a third straight game. No sense whatsoever.
Well, and if you saw the tweet from Mark Masters, not only is he expected to be in the lineup, but he was practicing on the top line.
Yes. Yeah. Which is very intriguing. You get Easton Cowan practicing up on the top line here with Auston Matthews and Matthew Nyes. Now, I expect that's where he's going to play then, no?
Yeah, you're not putting him there all of a sudden just to put him on the fourth line. It wouldn't make sense. So it kind of switched because that second line too was just not good. Like the Nylander, Tavares, McMahon line.
Nylander didn't have a shot again. Nylander has not had a shot on a goalie yet through 2 games. So
like, yeah, he helped. He had an assist on the Wah goal, but like he has not looked like the Willie we've come to expect.
No, he doesn't look like a man making $11.5 million. That's for sure. But yeah, the Lions, a little bit of a shakeup at practice going into this game. So you got Nyes with Matthews and Cowan. Matias Michelli drops down to the second line with Tavares and Nylander. Nick Robertson remains in the lineup. Domi and McMahon as your third line. So Robertson, Domi, and McMahon. Joshua, Nick Waugh, and then Callie Yarncroc. Nice heavy fourth line there. With Sammy Blais as the extra attacker. And then obviously there was the injury to Steven Lorentz in the game on Saturday. So he's not in the lineup. Wasn't at practice either. I didn't necessarily hear an update today.
It was just like he's probably not going to play, but again,
day to day.
If you expect Trey Brewery to give you a definitive timeline of what's going to happen with Steve Lorentz, go look somewhere else.
Not going to happen. But Yarncroc, Joshua, and Waugh. I kind of like that as a nice little Nice little fourth line. I mean, Yarny on pace for 82 goals. He's doubled his entire goal output from a year ago. That's
Remember
my
when some
guy.
people, remember when some people
You gotta
thought he
give
was
me
going to be on waivers?
you gotta give me credit. All summer,
Yeah.
I've been like, Yarny's a very credible fourth liner. Like, he's an
Mhm.
NHLer. Like, is he overpaid a little bit? Yeah, sure. But he's not like a waiver guy who you just let go for
No.
if you can afford. If you don't have the cap space, okay. But if you do, that's a nice little fourth liner. And he's got 2 goals so far. He's the only guy who's putting the puck in the net. So he'll again kind of get a chance to spark some offense there. Defensively, you're looking at the same McCabe Tanev, Riley Carlo, Simon Benoit, and Oliver Ekman Larson. And
Why
then
though? Like, why are you not getting
you
Myers?
want you want to see Philip Myers over Benoit?
Absolutely. I thought Benoit looked like you were talking about looking slow and not really doing.
Yeah,
He was guilty of it. He has
yeah,
not looked good. He hasn't looked. And look, I get it. He was injured to start camp. He was kind of brought in a bit later. Okay, then let the guy who's this is where you get an opportunity to give a guy another opportunity. See
mhm,
if Myers can do something right, especially
yeah.
with the way that the blue line looked on Saturday. Like how I don't know how you can go with that third pairing at one point had to get split up. Riley played with Ekman Larson for a few shifts.
Yeah, Myers can push the puck a little bit too. Like we've seen it in spot duty. Like he can push the puck, and he's got some creativity when he has the puck on a stick. He's not, offense doesn't necessarily die on his stick. So, yeah, maybe that's something that if it doesn't go well tonight for Benoit, maybe that's something they look at, tomorrow because it's night one of a back to back. So they're back in action tomorrow as well. So maybe that'll be an opportunity to get another defenseman in there. Maybe that's when you get it done. But you got could be a night for Primo. Looked like he was technically in the starter's cage. Stolars was on a different pad I read in practice, so could
Yeah.
be could be a Caden Primo game. First time we get to see Caden Primo in a Maple Leaf uniform could be tonight as well. Either way, we're going to see him in the next 48 hours, whether it's tonight or it's tomorrow against we have the Rangers tomorrow.
Nashville.
Nashville,
Rangers are
then
on Thursday.
yeah, then the Rangers. So yeah, so that's what we got for the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But a big opportunity for Easton Cowan, right? I mean, not only you're making your debut, but you're making your NHL debut on the top line of the Toronto Maple Leafs next to Auston Matthews and Matthew Nyes. No pressure, kid. No pressure. So good luck to him. Good luck to the Buds tonight. Hopefully they can get back in their winning ways. Again, it's only 2 games. Hasn't looked good, but you got 80 more games to hammer out the kinks. No one really cares what's happening in October. At the end of the day, what are you doing in the springtime? That's really when we care what's going on when it comes to the wins and losses for the Buds. All right, we'll come back. We'll take a break. Let's come back, and it's Thanksgiving, so let's get our 3 things we're thankful for when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll get to that list next here in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NHL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. My best bet for tonight's Leafs and Detroit game, I like the over on goalie saves. So whether it's Anthony Stolars or it's Caden Primo, take the over on the saves. The Leafs have given up over 30 shots on goal in both their games. I don't think that they're going to keep the puck off of the goalie's pads a whole lot tonight either. So that's my best bet in this one. You can make whatever wager you like on FanDuel. So what are you waiting for? Visit the FanDuel.com, download for the FanDuel app today, and get started. The Locked On Leafs podcast continues. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti, as we are each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube as well. Subscribe for daily analysis on your Toronto Maple Leafs. Yeah, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let us know down below. Who are you thankful for when it comes to the Maple Leafs? Who are you thankful for? I want to hear from the people in the comment section down below. But Dave, we've got a little 3-pack of 3 things we're thankful for this Thanksgiving when it pertains to the Toronto Maple Leafs. You want to kick us off?
Yeah, well, why don't we start with the captain? I'm still thankful that the Leafs have Auston Matthews, especially at the number that he's being paid right now, because Stars are getting paid more.
Yeah.
And
You realize that the comment section's about to flame you for that one, right?
absolutely. But you know what? If you go back and watch that game, he should have had 2 goals.
Probably.
He had that one shot that he might have put a dent in the crossbar.
Oh yeah.
Like
like
he's back to shooting with some oomph to it. Like
it looks like his back's good, right? It's not jacked up anymore.
Right, and and then he had the one on the power play where he hit the post.
Yeah.
He is going to score, and when he scores, he's going to start scoring in bunches. I'm just waiting for it.
It's gonna burst. The volcano. The goal volcano.
Yeah, I just think, maybe just a little more initiative on himself to push the play a bit, but yeah, I still think his shot's is going to be it's back to, I think, where it needs to be, and it's the rest of the game will come with it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like there's so much hate going on with Matthews right now. It's like, see, Matthews can't get it done without Mitch Marner. Look, he's not able to score without Mitch Marner. I get it. The one goal he scored was on an empty net, so he's goalless when it comes to scoring on a goalie through the first 2 games. But like Dave said, he had his chances in that second game. Probably could have scored, an inch either way, and that's probably in. Right, an inch lower on the bar, and that's bar down and into the back of the net. And same thing, when he hit the post. So he's close. He's getting his chances. But let's be honest, Dave. There are so many people right now who are down on this guy. Like, he's the captain. I get it. So he's going to wear a lot of, these early season funk talk. But he scored 69 goals 2 years ago. It's like people forget. You know what I mean? Like, I've had to remind so many people of that. It's like he scored 69 goals. He doesn't suck. People are like, see, Matthews sucked. They let go of the wrong guy. No, they didn't. No. Matthews is a terrific hockey player. He is still a top 10 player in the NHL. Okay. He's going to be fine. And he decided he wanted to stay. Guess who didn't? Mitch Marner didn't want to stay. Matthews did. He signed here. He committed to the Maple Leafs. And I'll tell you what, Dave, do you remember what it was like 10 years ago watching Maple Leafs hockey? When P.A. Parento was the best goal scorer on the team, or James Van Riemsdyk? I mean, it wasn't fun. It was not all that fun, Dave. Guess what is fun? Watching Auston Matthews score 69 goals. Even though he didn't score Saturday night, watching him rip it off the bar, rip it off the post where he was just this close, and you know that it's going to come. That's fun, right? That's what I'm talking about. So, yes, if you want to live in a small micro world, the last 2 games, sure, has not been his best hockey. But overall, as a Maple Leafs fan, you got to be pretty stoked to what Matthews has done here in his short time as a Maple Leaf. He's going to surpass Matt Sundin on the all-time goal list by the end of the season. I don't know if people are aware of that, but he's like 20 or something goals away from passing Sundin. Like, he's very close to becoming the all-time Maple Leafs goal-scoring leader, and he's been in the league for less than 10 years. So, yeah, have to be thankful for the captain, Auston Matthews. And I don't really, the guff that he's gotten for this early season, kind of stubbed toe, not worthy, in my opinion. Not worthy. No. All right. Number 2. Who else are we thankful for?
Well, he's been very good to start the year, and that's Stoley, the goalie.
Yeah. You could argue he's been the best player. Him and Morgan Riley, probably the 2 best Maple Leafs to start the year, right?
Yeah, they've brought their A game for sure to start the year. And again, you look at teams that don't have goalies, teams of what they've had to pay for goalies. Like, look what the Wild just paid Philip Gustafson, which not a terrible deal for what Philip Gustafson is. And I think he had a shutout in his first start of the year too.
Yeah, he did. So it worked out well.
It's worked out pretty good. It's a good investment for them because you look at the goaltending market and it's not good. Like,
yeah,
I
think what he signed for 6.5, I think, on a long-term deal.
6.8.
Yeah, so 6.8. I mean, you got Stolars for, was it 3.25?
What do we get Stolars at?
Or was it 3 flat? Either 3 flat or 3, maybe it was 3.25, I think. So it was
3.75.
375. Sorry, yeah. So 375, like under 4 million. I mean, Stolarz is just as comparable as Phil Gustafson, if you ask me.
How
The
much
last,
are the like? You think about what the Canucks are paying Kevin Lankinen?
4.5. He's getting paid 4.5 to be a
Four and a
backup.
half million to be the backup to Thatcher Demko. Like,
Yeah, if he's lucky, he'll play 30 games. I mean, he's an expensive insurance policy. I get that. There's a bit of a different situation with Demko's health, although Joseph Hall's been, kind of MIA and has not been relied upon to stay healthy either. So, I mean, Stolars is the guy too. So him taking that contract, that sweetheart deal to stick around in Toronto, he wanted to be here long term. So you got 5 years here of Stoley the goalie. And if he can play the way he has over the last couple of games here moving forward, I feel good. I think he picked up right where he left off a season ago, where he was unbelievable in the net for the Leafs. And if it wasn't for some terrible defending in front of him, I probably, would be backstopping a couple of Maple Leaf victories, but he can't do it all on his own. But yeah, definitely thankful for Anthony Stolarz, both on the ice and off the ice. Who else we thankful for? Our third person we're thankful for on Thanksgiving, Maple Leafs edition.
well, we got to go with the head honcho, the architect, Brad Treliving.
Yeah, he's really put together a couple of solid months here when it comes to negotiating, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, Nyes, very good deal. Tavares on the biggest sweetheart deal maybe in the league at 4.38. Just talked about Stolars on a great contract. Like, he's been able to get everybody signed at a pretty good ticket. And we look at what a lot of players have been going for the last couple of months. He got them done early too. Got them done early before the big boom. And now all of a sudden, you've got some pieces, some players signed at pretty good long-term contracts. So I think Treliving's done a great job piecing together a team, and he's done a good job negotiating, making some solid trades. Bringing in Michelli, bringing in Dakota Joshua, bringing in Nicola was a different situation, obviously, but still getting something out of Mitch Marner. I think Treliving has done a great job. Hopefully, we start to see it kind of pull through on the ice, though, because through two games hasn't necessarily worked out that well. But I can't fault Tree for that.
No, and he's done the one thing too that I think some people were thinking, would he actually be willing to do it? And that's, tell Mitch Marner, all right, you want peace. Like, if everyone's like, oh, he's not going to let Mitch walk after what happened in Calgary. And he's like, oh, yeah. Like, it's just, the realization that, what, time to move on, time to find something that works for both sides. And, that it's a tough decision. And that's what you kind of hope for with the GM like that. And yeah, is there still more work to do? Absolutely. But the flexibility this team has going forward, no, they don't have the draft capital. But they're not built to be looking at the draft. They're built to try to win now. And he's got all the flexibility with the cap going up. I know, yes, Matthews is not signed totally long term, but you still have him under contract for a few more years. You got right. They have less things to check off every offseason because he's gone ahead, as you said, ahead in a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, if the goaltending locked in for 3 years, right? You've got Matthews, Nyes, Nylander as kind of your three-headed horseman up front. You could probably get some insulating there as Tavares gets older. Maybe you find a second-line center to finally take over that reign, and then Tavares can move out to the wing eventually. That's been long talked about. You kind of like what's being built in the bottom six. We'll see if maybe the old slow thing, though, makes you want to go in a different direction. But pretty good base, I would say, for him, and just some tinkering is needed. I feel it's just some tinkering. A big addition in the top six, and then some tinkering around the peripherals, and then this team's really cooking. But he's done a good job for the roster he inherited, and the way that contracts were handed out prior to him getting here. He's done a good job, a really, really solid job since he took over as general manager. So I guess we got to be thankful for what he's been able to do. Last thing, just want to give out a special shout out to Simone Benoit, Max Domi, and William Nylander. I don't know if you saw this, Dave, but looks like this weekend they're at the Covenant House in downtown Toronto, handing out turkey dinners to the homeless and needy. And they do this every year. A few players go down and hand out some turkey and some stuffing, and it's really good for the community, obviously, to give back. And I know Nylander was happy to give back. Simon Benoit, saw a couple quotes of him too. Excited to kind of give back to to the community. So shout out to those three in the Maple Leafs organization for making that happen. It's a yearly tradition in Toronto, and you love to see it. You really do love to see it.
Yeah, it's always nice. I think a few of the other team. I know the Raptors are not in town. Weren't in town this
Mm.
weekend, but like I think the Argos were part of it too. Like it's as they make sure that they give back in the community in many different ways, and good on the players for obviously doing it. It's just a little thing. It's a little thing that just makes a big difference for
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah. Just take a little time out of their day to give back to the fans and the community. That's all you can ask for. All right, that'll do it for us for today's show. I'd like to thank you all for listening and supporting the show. You can subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all platforms and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at D_Morassutti and follow the show as well, Locked On Leafs. We'll be back with another episode for you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the game tonight. Again, little note, puck drop change from 4 p.m. Now it's 2 p.m. Eastern time. Leafs, Wings, go Leafs, go. Enjoy the game. Until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.